for the most part, just, it wasn't unexpected to see Taven go. Obviously got to talk about it. And we'll see where Heupel goes.
Do you think that he saw Nico in those first few practices and was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this now so I can, obviously he knew he was going to Indiana the moment he went in the portal. Like, that was worked out.
Yeah.
All of these high profile transfers don't go into the portal without having a pretty good idea of where they're going. They might go and try to get into a bidding war, but for the most part, they know where they're going. I wonder if he saw Nico practice and was just like, yeah, I should just go ahead and head on back to Indiana because this guy's for real.
Is it bad to say this? I really hope that's the case. I think every Tennessee fan does.
Yeah.
Because from all accounts, seeing this kid throw against air at a practice jumps up at you. Like, it is a real sight to behold. Supposedly, I have not gotten a chance to go and see him in person.
Yeah, we might need to go to some spring practices
maybe
this year because
we
need to see in person.
Maybe we can use our tie-in with 104.5 and maybe get a couple of passes to spring practice. I will have to see, but just supposedly from everybody that I have heard talk about it, obviously I've watched him on film, but I haven't seen him in a Tennessee practice or anything outside of just a video on YouTube. And so man, I hope that's the case. No offense to David Jackson, but I hope it was so apparent that Nico Iamaleava is that dude that he felt he needed to transfer, that Taven felt he needed to transfer, because it was just so clear that Nico is going to be that guy. I hope it, but because what it could be that the coaches think that Nico is that guy, and Taven thought he had absolutely no chance, and that it's still up in the air whether he will or will not be that guy. Obviously, things change when the lights actually come on and you have to go play SEC football. I mean, we kind of know Dobbs bad at practice, was a baller on the field. Practice doesn't mean anything at the end of the day in terms of wins and losses. But I hope it's because Nico's that good, please.
I mean, it kind of has to be. I mean, because Taven was still the staff's guy. Like, that's the first quarterback that they kind of recruited from high school. I know they went and got Joe Milton from Michigan because they felt like they needed, somebody else in that room for competition, which should tell you how they're going to view this situation. If they felt like they needed Milton when they had Brian Maurer, I think Shrout had already transferred by then, but they still had Harrison Bailey. They had Hendon Hooker. They had Caden Salter still at the time. That was before he had been kicked off the team. So they brought in Milton. That was their fifth quarterback that they had, scholarship quarterback on the roster. So based on that, I don't think they go into this season with just two. So I think Taven, he could have competed for the job and maybe had a chance to win because he's a very talented kid. I think just the fact that he knows that they're going to lean towards Milton. They did in 2021. And then you have Nico, who I'm almost to the point with Nico where I'm like pinching myself. Is it too good to be true? Because the talent's there, the accuracy, the big arm, the ability to move. He's tougher than you would think if you watch his high school highlights. He's not afraid of contact. And then you listen to this kid talk.
Yeah, I got it. I got it queued up.
He sounds as mature as some NFL quarterbacks out there. I mean, just play it and we can listen to it.
This is him at the Polynesian Bowl yesterday. It's college football recruits. They play in a thing called the Polynesian Bowl when they are of Polynesian descent. I think it's all recruits in that world. And this is him doing an interview there. And yeah, I mean, just listen. It's such a great answer. Here we go.
Well, you're a competitive kid. I mean, is the goal for you to come in and try to win that job?
Yeah, it's been my goal since day one to go out there and compete with whoever's the guy. But I also look forward to learning from guys like Joe and Navy and Gaston, man, and the whole QB room, man. I think we have a great QB room, and just my first 3 weeks there was just it just felt good to be a part of, man. Nobody has any ego. I think everybody gets along well, and yeah, man. Whether it's competing for a job or backing up Joe or backing up whoever it is, I look forward to learning. It'll be freshman year, so I know there'll be a lot of more adjustments in the college life. But yeah, I look forward to wherever that spot is.
Yeah. Well,
how is he 18? It really is. Like, has he? Surely he's been like trained on media. That's such a great answer. Surely he's been been.
Well, he's done a
coached
ton
up.
of interviews, obviously,
That's
being
true.
a high-profile recruit. But even then, you still see a lot. I mean, you see guys go to the NFL that don't really have that kind of awareness and just humility. Everybody's been talking about this kid for almost a year now. Ever since that article came out from The Athletic that suggested that he was the one that made all this money. Look, that's the only real report we have about that $8 million NIL deal. That came from whoever brokered the deal, that end of it, in an interview that they gave. Nothing about that has come from Nico's camp. There hasn't been anything, any ego, nothing. I remember, I don't want to say the player's name, but I remember there was a high profile recruit that came to Tennessee when Butch Jones was the head coach. And I remember speaking to his parent, one of his parents going into his freshman year about what they expected or what they were expecting, from his freshman year and kind of how they thought things would go. And he told me that they were expecting, a basically 50-50 split with what his position, what he was playing. And I remember that just came across to me as like, no, he's got to go earn that. You don't just get given that because you're a high profile recruit. You got to go earn it. So going in there and expecting that that's what you're going to get, that's not a recipe for success at all. And the kid ended up playing well at Tennessee, but that always stuck with me. And that is not what you get from Nico at all. We saw it the day he arrived at Tennessee when he's making him do push-ups in the locker room. And his family's giving him a hard time about it. Like, yeah, make him do those push-ups, make him run, get on him. Like that's kind of how he was raised. So it's not a surprise that he's this mature, but it's still, he's 18 years old. To name the walk-on quarterbacks and to point them out and to not make assumptions and to say you're going to play your role no matter what that role is, but you're also going to go compete. I mean, that you can't ask for much more in a quarterback.
It's so just savvy. That's like the right word I think I would use. Specifically him pointing out Navy and Gaston. Like he mentions them like as in, he's going to learn from them. I mean, obviously all of the assumptions are he will play and that they will be the walk-ons, and we know that, that's how this works. And he still goes out of his way to say that. And it's, I mean, yeah, that level of humility from a kid that has probably had his butt kissed as an athlete since he was who knows how young. I mean, with these guys, they start getting recruited in freaking middle school. And so it's just unreal. I mean, he just seems like in every facet, he just is that guy. Obviously, the one facet we have to see to make sure is on the football field in an actual game. Yeah. And but man, it's exciting to just see every part of that because he, practice field, interviews, everything. It seems like he has it. And so hopefully that translates to the football field. We'll just have to wait and see.